Welcome to Girls on Fire.
All right, guys, we are getting ready for episode 2 of Girls on Fire. I do have to say before we get started here that we have already recorded this once and did a test ride through this because we were having some technical difficulties. But it's okay. So, Kristen, we are ready to rock and roll today, I think.
You know what they say, Megan? First is the worst, second is the best. So everything happens for a reason. This one will be better than the first time we did it.
Right. Yeah, guys, you'll have to give us some grace here. We are hoping one day to put out more content. I know, like, I feel like the once a month thing is like really like lag time in between, but we're in a busy time of year right now, so we're doing the best we can starting this podcast venture up. But we are excited to be here, and thank you all so much for everything, all the nice, comments and people reaching out to us about episode 1. Like we have mentioned before, we are not medical professionals. So you guys just coming here to listen to us and talk about our, things that happen in our life and our work and personal life and what we do here at MD Publishing and talk about the conferences and all of those kinds of things. Like, we appreciate you being here and wanting to hear from us.
I know the response, Megan, I was like shook. I was like, oh my goodness, like people are actually listening to this. Like,
Right?
it made me so happy though.
Yeah, I know. But when we see some of the, because you guys you guys probably know YouTube even better than we do. So we'll see people like starting a conversation or making comments. We're like, oh gosh, they're listening. Like, they're so smart.
I'm like, I don't know how much knowledge we can give some of our viewers, but I'm
Right.
just glad they're tuning in.
Hey, maybe we're talking about topics that they like don't feel comfortable talking about, We'll be on the optimist side of things.
Half glass half full. I almost just messed that up so bad.
That's okay. So Chris and I actually were just talking before because we're heading to CEAI tomorrow. This will come out after we've already been there, but we're super excited. I know Kristen's been there before. Kristen, maybe tell everybody just your experience from last year from going.
Yeah, last year was awesome. I think that might have been my first state association show ever. So
Yeah.
it was just really nice to be able to experience that for the first time. And I think CEI was the great first one. It was a great exhibit hall, great conversations. I hadn't traveled to that area through MD Publishing yet. We hadn't had any shows since I had been with this company. So it was cool to hit like a new target audience that I had never spoken to before. And then we had a great time at Pinstripes. They're doing it again this time for their finale party. We
Mhm.
played an intense game of bocce ball. So Megan, I hope you're good because we were champions last time.
I used to play, but I haven't played in a long time, but it's fun, so I'm down.
Yeah, warm up because we have to win. But no, it was an awesome time. They always, I think, have done a great job. So I'm excited to go and just us two, Megan.
I know, I'm so excited. I've been to a ton of stage shows. I've been to Chicago for other things like RSNA, or I was just there for the HIMSS conference in March with Jamie. But I love the stage shows. Like, me and Jamie were just at the North Carolina Biomedical Symposium in August, and it was so fun. And I feel like it's just like a more like smaller way for us to network with people that we see at our shows and that sort of thing, or at Amy or whatever the case is. But it's kind of nice to be able to connect on that smaller level. So it'll be super fun. This is my first CEAI, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, we are heading there. We're going to be there bright and early tomorrow.
We were just discussing our flight times and we're gonna have to get up at what, 3, 4 a.m. both mornings?
Yeah, but it's okay. So I think I'm getting up at 3:45 tomorrow. I think my flight gets in like in Chicago time because I'm on East Coast because I'm in Atlanta at like 8 something in the morning. Yours gets in around the same time. It's gonna be great. We're just gonna drink all the coffee and it'll
Going
be
through. Yeah, large venti Starbucks.
oh my gosh, 100%.
And your coffee now. I'm already on my
Okay,
second cup.
sorry, I need that. Okay, so anyways, is there anything else we need to talk about today? Like anything big happening? I don't feel like right now, right? We have MD Expo coming up at the end of October. We can talk about that a little bit more, maybe the next episode, but I'm trying to think. I don't feel like there's anything else really on the radar right now.
No, I mean, just CEAI and like you said, MD Expos, it's just, end of summer, back to busy season. I know right now in the HTM jobs world, a lot of people are back to pumping up on their hiring needs before the holidays hit. So just busy doing that. And then again, exhibiting at all the shows. I feel like they take kind of a break during the summer on shows, and now we're back up to Expo, CEAI,
Right.
all of those ones. So.
Well, actually, since you brought that up, like, is this like a busy time? Like, anybody, any of our young professional audience or anybody out there listening, like, this might be, is this like a time typically when people are looking for a new job?
I think so. I think people kind of take a break during the summer because they have summer vacation plans, or, things have been booked out. So it's not really a busy time to look for a new job.
Mm.
Hiring needs right now in this industry are like pretty steadily available 24/7. So, but it's more so like people switching jobs right now, but it's also hitting like graduation time for some people. So starting to see numbers go back up.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was always curious. I figured like during like Christmas and the holidays that it probably would die down a little bit. Is that true? Or in like right now it picks up and then in the spring it picks up?
Holidays, I don't think it really dies down that much because
Really?
people are like fixing their resume. I always say new year, new career, because that's when people
Not
really
for
start
us
like, not for us though,
though.
but that's when you like really see people start like working on their resumes is over the holidays when they have some time at home, and then they'll apply like first of the year.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I feel like people have more time off or whatever the case is to look and like kind of just like see what's out there. So that makes sense.
And people build up their resolutions and goals like, okay, I want to be this next year. So you can like see a huge influx into the year, beginning of the year.
Right. Well, shameless plug, go to htmjobs.com. Reach out to Kristen and Cindy.
We're here. Yeah, no, I can't believe it's already September. This year has flown by.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. Like you said, it's busy for you guys. It is so busy here too on our end of things with TechNation and ICE and MedWrench and OR Today and all of us. This is when we renew all of our clients, a lot of our clients for the next year. So we are busy, trying to get back in touch with people, making sure we have the right plans in place for them. So it's a lot of busyness and work, and I feel like this time of year just goes by so fast. So it's just nice to like kind of like break it up a little bit. Like I'm excited to go tomorrow to CEI, and it just is nice to be in front of our clients and see our readers and subscribers and all of that. So that will be fun.
So fun, bright and early.
Bright and early. Okay, well, I guess we can go ahead and get into our hot topic.
Hot topic. So I found an awesome article from Business News Daily. So today's hot topic is how to improve your work-life balance today. So there's just like a couple of bullet points, kind of like last time, that we can go through and share like our personal insights and just like what we feel like is a good work-life balance.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I mean, I know that like what is like one thing that you do off the top of your head that like helps you just like feel better, makes you a better person all around in that area.
Honestly, I think for me, it's either like getting out of the house or the office at some point of the day through
Mhm.
exercise. So like working from home, I'll typically try to like exercise in the morning to get like my endorphins going. I know I'm going to be sitting inside all day at my house, at my desk, so it's nice to just like, even if it's first thing bright and early in the morning, just like working out, getting that done, feeling like I've accomplished something big at the beginning of my day,
Right.
or even just like being in our office, we have such a beautiful like communal workspace, even just like walking around the main common floors like for 10 minutes. Like that's even just a nice little, and our stairs take it out of me. That's almost like a workout. So just I would say just moving around as much as I can.
Right, I know. I feel like everybody that we like know, they that have like a desk job, like they always say like they have to get up and move around. Like I know here because we have two offices, so Kristen's in our Nashville office and I'm here in our Atlanta Peachtree City office, and we will go out front and there's like just like kind of like a big circle, and you'll see one of us almost every hour walking it like for at least a couple minutes just to get out there, because I feel like we're like zombies sitting here and we won't get up, and we will just like sit here until it's absolute necessary to get up from our desk. So I feel like that's one thing that I do. And then my other thing is that everybody knows like almost always I go to the gym at lunch. So like luckily my gym is like 5 to 10 minutes from here. I can go do a 45-minute class and like hurry back. And it really just helps me 100%. Because one, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's such a great experience that I can actually do this while I'm at work, kind of, which is so nice that we have the luxury of doing that. Plus, it's like a mental break just to get up for like day, especially if you had a stressful morning or anything. So that has helped me a ton. I do like to work out in the mornings too, like you said, like it starts you off like fresh and ready for the day, but it is nice to like just get up for an hour and get out of here and like shut it off and then come back and then you feel ready to rock and roll for the afternoon.
I feel like it gives you like a second like spurt of energy,
Yeah,
like I feel like if I do a lunch, I never do it when I'm in the office because my gym's further away. But like if
right.
I'm at home and just want to go on like a walk around my neighborhood, like I get back and I'm like ready to go again. Like there's
Yeah.
just something about moving your body that like really does get you like ready to do your second half of your day.
Yeah, I'd like to know because like we're in an office setting, so I'd like to know like what some of our audience for like technician, HCM jobs, that sort of thing, what they do, because a lot of them are in hospital atmospheres, so they are, do they even get that time to go like walk around, or do they only get like a little bit of time to like run and eat lunch? It's just a different environment. So I'd be interested to know what they do too, like to just take a mental break for a second.
Comment below, guys.
Yeah.
Let us know what you do.
Interact with your girls on fire.
Let us know. We genuinely are curious.
We are. All right. Well, hit us with some of these points in the article. We can start talking about them.
So, first point coming out strong, it's accept that there is no perfect work-life balance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so true. It says here there's going to be some days that your priorities are more towards work. You have more time and energy towards work. And there's some days that you have more time and energy towards your loved ones or a hobby, and just finding that, like realistic work-life balance. There's no perfect one.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you feel like people our age, and this might be actually for people older than us, even like older than millennials or Gen Z or anything, do you feel like people kind of define who they are based on what they do for their career?
100%. I feel like
Not
even
healthy
when,
though.
I mean, I feel like it's just what takes up the majority of your day. Like I'll go get dinner with a friend, and what's the first thing we talk about? Oh, how was your day at work today? Or,
Right.
are you still loving your job? Like that's typically the basis of the conversation that we start with. And just because it's the majority of our day. So
Right.
I think work is the biggest part of our lives, but also if you love what you do, then that's okay.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I thoroughly enjoy what I do. I'm not just saying that. Like don't get me wrong, we have like crazy days and frustrating and things happen all the time, or whatever the case is, just normal work stuff, but I really truly can say like I enjoy getting up, coming here. I like who I work with, like I like what I do. I like believe in what I do, and I think a lot of people can't say the same.
Yeah, not to go ahead and jump to point two, but point number two is find a job that you love.
Right.
That was just a perfect segue because it says you'll never have a good work-life balance if you hate what you do.
Yeah.
Because a big part of work-life balance is enjoying your day-to-day, whether that's at work or at home or with your loved ones. So finding something that you like wake up every morning excited to go do, even though every day's not perfect. We're human. This morning I was pulling into the office and realized that I left my laptop at home and had to turn back around and go get it. But, I immediately let everyone know. They said see you in 10, and that was it. So life can still get crazy, but as long as you surround yourself with like a great group of, colleagues and find a job that fulfills you, then your work-life balance will be 10 times easier.
Right. And I feel like too, it's so nice here. Like we can have like the most open conversations. Like I feel like some of my coworkers are some of my good friends, like I feel like we all connect like super well with each other and we support each other. And also from management, like our bosses, I truly feel like we could go to them about anything because sometimes, or I don't know, like maybe in past jobs or whatever the case is, you don't always feel comfortable going to your manager or boss or whatever the case is. And I'm hearing this like across the board from a lot of people I know who I like, clients of mine, all of this, like managers are being so much more, it feels like real, people that you can actually speak to and they get you and they hear you and they want to help you like build you up. So I'm hearing a lot more of that, not just here where we work, but everywhere.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we really are lucky in the sense of, like you said, like our management is so understanding, so easy to talk to, really supportive. And that's not always the case in work. But I also think it's like maybe a comfortability thing too. Like, having that support makes you comfortable enough to go and have those conversations, like if you didn't feel like you could, then maybe you wouldn't. And that's where I think a big disconnect could be, is a lot of people feel like they can't, so they don't.
Right. Well, we love our job. I guess that's all we can say much about that.
Well, the next point is a great one for work-life balance. It's prioritize your health, whether that's physical, emotional, and mental. I feel like we touched a little bit on that in terms of the physical and honestly all of them. Like working out for us covers all three, you
Right.
know. It's a
Yeah.
good way to just power through the day. I feel like there are some days like I like to either work out in the morning or at lunch because by the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to.
Right.
But if I ever have like, one of those days where it's just like I need to go on another walk or get outside, like it really is such more for my mental health than anything.
And not even just like those things. I know we touched on exercise and stuff a lot, but it's really nice. Like we have a lot of freedom here, and I don't know if a lot of people do, which I think a lot of companies are giving people more freedom as long as you get your stuff done and you're a reliable employee and they know that you're doing your job the best that you possibly can. I feel like a lot of companies are giving people a lot more, lenient things that they're able to do during the workday. But like I like can be completely vulnerable right now. And like I'm like yesterday I like hurried up and went to a therapy appointment during my lunch break instead of like going to the gym that day because I was able to. It's only 5 minutes down the road and like everybody doesn't care what we do on our lunch break or whatever the case is, but like you can fit those things in. Like, so mentally, I was able to do that. Or like I've mentioned, I can go on my lunch break and go to the gym. Or, like if we need to go to a doctor's appointment or something like that, we've all been are able to do that. So I feel like work here, as long as we're doing our job, they really let us prioritize our life outside of here as well.
Yeah, and I think this is something our generations have kind of brought to the forefront of work day to day, is mental health. Like I had never heard my parents talk about mental health or any of that until like probably within even the last like 5 to 10 years. I feel like mental health has really taken like a priority in all aspects of life.
Mhm.
So do you feel like that? Do you feel like you didn't really like hear about prioritizing mental health until recently?
Yeah, like even when I was younger and I had like these like smaller jobs and stuff in college, it was like still completely different. Like you had like if you were actually sick, like say you had a fever or whatever the case is, I would be scared to call out of work, and like they would like you basically get punished for it. And
Yeah.
it's not like you can do anything. You don't want to get anybody sick. Now, like if we have a fever, we're not even allowed to be here, or whatever the case is. And I know that's like, it sounds like one of the like smallest things, like you don't come to work when you're sick or whatever the case is. And I'm sure that's probably the same like for being in hospitals and stuff. You're around people that have like illnesses and things like that. You can't come in being sick and like sharing that with them, So it's like, I feel like just the smallest thing of like, if you're sick, it's okay if you stay home. I still even, it's weird weird. Like I feel like I'm just programmed where I still feel guilty, even though nobody's making me feel guilty here, you know? And I'll still be checking my emails and looking at things while I'm like dying in my bed.
Like
But
dripping sweat on my deathbed,
right,
like, "I can hop on this call, I promise." Like, no way.
I know, and it's so weird because nobody's making you here feel, that you can't like take time to just be sick and get over whatever's going on, like they want you to get better, but like it's like ingrained in our head that you like have to keep pushing through even though you're sick. Like it's
Yeah.
wild that we're like this.
Well, I think that actually goes into our next point of don't be afraid to unplug. I think that's just our personality types in a way too, like, we constantly work, even when we're on the road traveling, we'll have our laptop out. Like if we need to do something, it's takes 2 seconds to get out, do it really quick, and then go back to like not working or being on PTO or whatever the case is. And that is important on work life. There are some people that like truly probably do need to unplug and like give themselves a little bit of a break. I mean, Jamie, our VP of sales right now, I'm glad she's on a boat that forces her to unplug because
Right.
otherwise she wouldn't. It's like she doesn't take time for herself sometimes.
I never unplug. Like I am probably the worst at it. Yesterday, I can tell you a great example. I don't know, 5:30, 5:45. I'm driving home and I start getting text messages from my clients about something or whatever the case is. And I'm like, this, like, I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, it's not an emergency. Like, nothing's going to happen because nobody else is working at the office. So nothing's going to be able to really get fixed. But like, I'm already like trying to fix things, like while I'm at red lights. I'm like, oh, let me see what I can do about this. I, I can't really necessarily do anything because I need something to be fixed like by another department. But I'm like still like I'm like Megan, you could have just like left that alone, like nobody was dying, like it wasn't that big of a deal.
But do you agree with this? I feel like that's because we have a good work-life balance that you know that you can or can't. Like
Right.
in the same kind of breath, yesterday I went on like a walk after work. I got back to my house. It was like 5 something. My laptop was already like open. I just looked really quick. There was a couple of like emails that I was like, I'm just gonna respond to them because I'm right here. Like I can
Yeah.
go ahead and like set up some meetings for tomorrow, even though it's like past 5. No one's probably even gonna see these until tomorrow morning. But I just went on a walk. It's right here. I might as well do it. So it's
I
like
think
when you're like, I don't know, if you are just absolutely drained with your job and don't love it, like you would be like, I'll do that tomorrow, not worry
right.
about it. But it's like,
Yeah,
why not?
you're right. No, I think that's what's nice about our job is we have so much flexibility with it, so we're able to go for a walk and then come back and be like, oh, let me just take care of this really quick because this will make my morning easier or whatever the case is. Or we knew we had to record today. So let me just answer these texts now. I think I had in my head. And I was like, and then that will be done. And then I can like focus on what we need to do or what I have scheduled for today. So yeah, I agree. I think we just have a great job where we're able to be that flexible all the time.
Yeah. The next one is hilarious. Take a vacation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like to be honest, I feel like you and I are always going on a some kind of
I
trip.
was gonna say, I think it's funny because we travel, I would say a decent amount for work, like more
Right.
than probably the average person. But for our industry, I would say it's very like common for people to travel for work. So probably less than some people, but still more than the average. And then on top of that, I mean, I just flew back from Florida on Sunday from a personal trip, and then we're flying out Thursday to Chicago, and then there's wedding. I mean, we're so busy in our personal life. Sometimes it doesn't feel like a vacation,
Right.
but I mean, we do travel so much.
Oh yeah, we do. I like can't even say. Like I feel like we're always going somewhere. Like you said, I feel like we are really good at doing the whole work-life balance thing. But I think it just makes it easy because of who we are employed by. I don't think everybody has that luxury. Like I hear people that are like, oh my gosh, you get to do that like for your like, your Christmas party or whatever the case is, or like your boss did that for you, or you're able to like work from home that day, like, or you get to choose or whatever the case is. So like I don't think we take it advantage because we know like how like appreciative we are of what we get here, but it makes it so much easier when you have like a job that just really, I think they like our job prioritizes, I feel like, a work-life balance.
Oh, 100%. Like if you want to go home and visit family, like you can work from home. If the flight is cheaper on Thursday night, we can work from home on Friday at our
Right.
families. It's just that kind of flexibility that like you don't take into account sometimes, but it's like so important and like such a
Yeah.
when you think about jobs, like especially when people are like applying for jobs even, like I always emphasize find somewhere that like fits your life as well. Like if you
Mhm.
prioritize work-life balance, like make sure that's something that you can achieve within your like day to day.
Right. And like we just like, I think it just goes back to that we have so much I think we're just super upfront and honest, like all of us here, and like we're just like, this is what we have going on. Is this doable? And I don't know. I think we just all have a really mutual respect for all of our things that we have here and at work and in our outside lives.
For sure. The next one is make time for yourself and your loved ones. So, I mean, kind of in the same breath, I feel like
Yeah.
we do that.
I
I'm
think we do. I
yeah,
think some
and
I think some people like they have a hard time separating it, but I don't really feel like that's a problem, to be honest. I feel like I give a lot of time to the people I care about outside of here.
and we're such social people too. I think if anything, that making time for yourself is what's hard
Right.
because I feel like and you're probably the same, I say yes to just about anything. If someone wants me to go do something or like travel for the weekend, like I have such a hard time saying no, even though I know I'm going to be absolutely exhausted. Like
Right.
I would rather like do that for that person. So taking like a Friday night in for myself or even just like, treating myself to a good yummy meal Wednesday just to like, a midweek treat, like something like that. I think that's important.
Yeah, the thing that I've been doing like this year and trying to prioritize again is reading. So like that has helped not only like to shut my mind off at night because I have a hard time going to sleep. Like I feel like that's when people's minds race, or at least that's when my mind races. So I've been reading at night and like that helps me so much. It kind of just takes me to like another land for the most part. And like I try to shut off my phone and like that helps. Like I feel like we're always on our laptops or phones or whatever the case is, and like I just need like less screen time. I feel like that's how I prioritize my
Do
mental
you
health.
not sleep like a baby when you read before
Yeah.
bed? No,
Hmm.
like insane. I need to get back on reading. I was really good at the beginning of the year and then kind of slipped off during busy season and I need to pick it back up because you really do sleep the best when you read. And like you said,
Better.
like we're looking at a screen all the time. Like I need to be better about no phone before bed and just like feeding my mind more than just like scrolling through TikTok like I do.
Mhm. Yeah, but that's hard because TikTok's fun too.
It's so informational. I hate when people say it's not. I get all my cooking videos from there.
That is another thing that I think we've talked about that I just want to touch on really quickly that is like a difference, at least between me, millennial, and you, Gen Z. I think we had this conversation when we were at HRA, and I was saying how like I still like type in Google like what I am like looking for or need to know. And I think you and Emily, who works here too in sales, you guys were saying how like you guys will like search on TikTok to like find out what you like need or whatever the case is. And I'm like, okay, that must be like that's one difference between millennial and Gen Z, at least for me.
Yeah, no, it's something I feel like recently started doing. There's still some things like I'll Google like how long do I bake my salmon? I'll throw that into Google. But like if I'm traveling to a new city, I'll type okay, for Chicago, I would type in things to do in Chicago into TikTok. And there's so many, I mean, I'll be on there for hours and like just taking notes because I'm like, oh my gosh, like because you get to see videos and clips. It's like so informational. It's
Yeah,
so informational. I love it.
I know. I need to maybe do that a little bit more, but then I think I might be sucked in too.
Oh yeah, because now it's like all these videos, like how to clean my air fryer and like 90% food. I'm gonna be honest,
Right.
food. But it was informational. Shout out TikTok. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. Set boundaries and work hours. Megan.
Set boundaries and with work hours, is that what it says?
And work hours. So set boundaries for yourself and your colleagues to avoid burnout. When you leave the office, avoid thinking about upcoming projects or answering company emails.
Oh, well, I just said that I break that rule all the time.
I was just about to say we literally.
I guess
Oh,
maybe we're like having a little bit of like a work therapy session because I'm figuring out what I need to do like more and less of.
well, it's true, but again, like I think in the same breath, like we know when and when not to,
Right.
when we can and when we can't. Like there's times where I'm like, you know, I really can't do this right now. I will do this first thing when I get home, or I'm in the airport. I'll talk to you in a little bit. That's fine. But I think we are on probably the bad side where we always just do it. But
Yeah, we just do it. But I think it's just because everything's just so accessible to us. And when you're in sales, you I don't know, like it like that's how we like make money for the company. And like if like and I know people understand and you don't and we don't always respond as soon as somebody like on the like always on a Saturday or anything like that. I think it's more of like in the evening, if it's 5:30, like I'm gonna answer that client if they text me. Like I'm just going to, you know?
yeah,
But like I do think we're not, I mean, we're not sitting by our email all Saturday, like waiting for things to happen, you know?
no, yeah. I mean, like last weekend, holiday weekend, obviously a lot going on. So I was traveling a lot for work. So if something came through, I 100% probably would
Right.
wait till at least Monday when I was back home. So I agree. I think it is more like evenings, afternoons, unless it's something like major that I need to.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just like figuring out what is a priority and what is or like necessary to answer right now and what isn't. And then like, and then just deciphering what to do first.
Yeah. The next one is set goals and priorities. And then sticking to them. So set achievable goals by implementing time management strategies, analyzing your to-do list, and cutting out tasks that have little to no value.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's, applies to a lot of people. For us, we have one task, one to do. So, but it is just like how you said, you wanted to answer that text because we had this first thing in the morning to set yourself up for success. Like our goal this morning was to get through this and have a great podcast. And then when we hang up with this, we will go back to our day to day. So setting
Right.
priorities and tasks so that you can actually stick to them and accomplish them.
Well, we also do, and I think you guys do it. I know Kennedy does it. A lot of us block scheduling, which is where we like are like, okay, from 8 to 9, I'm gonna do this. Maybe it's like clean up your email, social media, that sort of thing. 9 to 11, maybe it's cold calling or like looking over our prospect list or prospecting or trying to find new clients. Then like 11 to 12, maybe you're catching back up on emails or you have a call. 12 to 1, you have lunch, and then so on and so forth. And I think that's really good about like, okay, well, like I'm not going to answer these random chats or I'm not going to answer this text message, like this can wait. And I think that is what helps. I do that. I mean, every day I come in and I have a to-do list of things I need to do. And I'm like, okay, when are these things going to get done during this time frame, this time frame, this time frame? And I think that can help so many people, not only in our job, but anybody's job. Like you can prioritize like that. I mean, maybe not if you're like a nurse or something like that, because I mean, people are sick, you got to handle things. But
Someone's floating. Sorry, I'm on my blocks. I can't.
no, actually, I'm only working on getting people's IVs set up for this hour. You're dying? Sorry, can you hold
Sorry,
on?
block schedule busy.
Exactly. So, but in a lot of people's lives, they feel like they can do something like this, or maybe you have time where you're at your desk or like in like your quiet area, and like for 30 minutes you need to do this. Like that, I think it really can. It's something you could do in your personal life and in your professional life.
Yeah, no, I love block schedule. I think it's
Mhm.
like, even though, I mean, realistically, things are going to happen throughout the day. You might have to put out little fires or something more important might come up, but still having like some sort of loose structure is huge, especially like if you are a little bit like ADD or you have a hard time like sticking to your priorities and your goals. Like that's a great way to like put your nose to the grindstone and be like, okay, for the next 2 hours, this is all I'm focusing on, and I can put everything else away for the time being.
Right. Well,
More.
is there anything else we need to talk about with this topic?
That's pretty much it. The rest of the article, if you're on the manager side, they have some key points on how to be a supportive manager. We kind of went over how our management team has been great to us in terms of flexibilities, but if you are kind of in that managerial role, the rest of the article is definitely great to kind of browse through on how you could be kind of a better leader in helping your employees be work-life balanced. So check that out.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and put that in the comments. But we're almost done for today, but I did want to talk about one more big topic that we have been announcing on social media recently, and that is our Tech Choice Awards, or our Wrenchies. So we have a couple different categories. I'm going to read them off to you guys. Hold on one second. But basically, we heard y'all loud and clear. You guys want to go ahead and nominate people in the HTM profession for some of these different categories. So I'm going to list them out, but I'll also tell you where you can find this on onetechnation.com, so you can go ahead and nominate as well. But here are some of the categories. So we have Professional of the Year, Department of the Year, YP of the Year, ISO Employee of the Year, Director/Manager, Lifetime Achievement Award, Military BMET, Humanitarian, Women in Leadership, Ingenuity. Am I saying that right? Oh gosh.
We're just leaving that there. That was amazing.
Okay.
That was fire.
Well, Google that. I'm not really sure if I'm saying that
Look it up on
correctly.
TikTok.
Yeah. Outstanding Vendor, Association of the Year, and Industry Influencer of the Year. So you can, yes, Girls on Fire. No, we can't win. But there's a lot of great other professionals out there that definitely could get that award. So yes, go to there, and then the URL, which we'll also put in the comments too, is going to be onetechnation.com/Tech Choice Awards, and the deadline to nominate is by November 3rd, so you still have plenty of time to get those nominations out there. And like I said, we'll put it in the comments, but go there, nominate them. You know, we have a lot of great people out there. We just want to praise them.
And I said this when we recorded this podcast last time, but being a big Office fan, this is reminding me of the Dundies, and it's making me really excited. Like, I want to do at our Christmas party like an internal Tech Choice Awards, but since we aren't techs, you know, Dundee-esque, because I think John Krieg would really channel his inner Michael Scott, and it would be the performance of a lifetime.
Okay, so what would ours be? Like, what should we both be?
Oh my gosh.
Something random, right? Like, it's supposed to be funny, right?
It's supposed to be funny. Like, an example, like, I don't know what we would be.
I don't know.
Because it can't be serious. It's
No,
gotta be.
it can't be serious.
I'm sure John Krieg could come up with a list in 5 minutes of some funny stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll handle.
That would be great. Yeah, we definitely have to do that. It would take some time. Like, I feel like I could think of one off the top of my head, not for me or you, but for somebody else. Like, John Wallace, our editor, I could think most likely to use a coupon.
Oh, most likely to own a coupon store.
Most likely to eat ice cream all the time.
Most likely to say
so many good ones. Wait, what did you just say?
Most likely to say the worst dad jokes. 24/7.
Shout out to John Wallace.
Great guy.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. You know, find us everywhere. We're going to go ahead and put in the comments again where you can find Kristen and I. Make sure you subscribe to TechNation TV, and so you can always be updated when we have a new podcast episode coming out. But thanks for being here. And like I said, share, tell all your friends about the two redheads.
We're fire.
Bye, guys.
Bye.